Buddy. This is the first episode of FirerySide Chat with Fireryman. This, we'll call it a podcast, will be where I take people who are active in 82L and have a nice chat with them. So let's introduce my first guest, Harbinger.
Hey there.
Hopefully not the last, hey?
Yeah, definitely. I think this could be a good piece of content.
The best content out there after JoJo's, am I right?
I have not personally watched JoJo's content. Might have something to do with the fact that I don't drink.
Hmm.
So,
There was a lot of people saying we need one for different weed, different type of weed or drugs. I'm not too familiar with that, so I probably
I
wouldn't
was the
watch.
one who noted the hard drugs.
Oh God.
Well, it was because you guys were like, let's do one with weed as well, and like, well, might as well just get into the hard drugs then.
Yeah, if you were a hard drug, if your team or you, do you know what you'd be if you're a hard drug or no comment.
I don't know because I don't do drugs.
I figure I'd be cocaine. Because I'm go, 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 go. I feel that's what cocaine does. I've read some stuff, performance enhancing.
Yeah, I could see you as cocaine with your description of that. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, maybe not a team. I don't know how they describe some teams. Like, we have drugs in Dota. They wouldn't be cocaine. They'd probably be like some weed that makes you like fall asleep because their games are so long.
See how long their games last under this patch next week.
Dude, okay, there's three teams that like to delay games. ROT, just in contender, we're just going quickly over ROT, D&D, and Petting Zoo. And we got ROT versus D&D in the grand finals. And if it's 5 games, I could see like at least 5 hours of gameplay. It's possible. Harb?
Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry.
No worries. Anyways, Harb, we kind of semi introduced you, but introduce yourself. Maybe if what team you were on and what uh
Um, yeah.
was
So
yeah.
I was the carry player for Silver Breakfast Pandas this past season. Prior to that, I played both position 3 and position 1 for my own team, which was Team Umbra. Um, and now, this upcoming season, I am currently working on making a new team. Um, that name still has yet to be decided and still figuring out the roster. Um, but yeah, playing an intermediate again this upcoming season. Um, yeah, it should be fun.
Okay, so sounds good. I'll be touching a little bit on that other stuff and asking a couple, but question number 1, when did you start playing Dota? When was the first year or month or your first time seeing Dota and you're like, I'm going to start playing Dota and ruin my life?
Um, so I got into Dota because of my older brother. He was playing Dota at the time. I think he was like high 4Ks, low 5Ks at the time, and I was just watching him. I got really interested in it. Um, so I started playing around the end of 2014. Um, Ended up not being able to play for a year because I was playing on a really crappy laptop, which could barely run anything. It had like a really old processor in it. So I had to kind of like quit Dota for a year until I got a better laptop. And then I started playing Dota again. Um, and So then I really started playing Dota in 2015, I guess you could say, and have been playing Dota ever since. Um, with some breaks here and there, of course.
Yeah, of course, even pros take breaks. Did you at all during that time watch some Dota competitively, or when did you start watching some? Uh, was it
Um,
TI? Was it a major? Like,
so I started watching Dota competitively after TI4. Actually, I caught some of the games of TI4,
mhm.
and after that, it kind of just snowballed into watching more of the pro games. Um, I wasn't, I really wasn't too big into watching the pro scene all that much because I was just getting into the game. I was also pretty young back then, and um, like for me, like my family, like electronics isn't like a very big thing, so we didn't watch like a lot of TV, didn't have a lot of games and all that. So like watching Pro Dota came to me like closer to when Wings was going off. Again, basically corresponding to when like really started playing Dota and got invested into it. So
So 2016.
yeah,
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool, man. Wings was definitely good Dota. I think I started 2014 too. Around there, I played some Dota in 2013, just a few games, but I had a shitty internet connection and made playing Dota insanely difficult. So, kind of fell in that same boat. I took, I think, over a year off too because of issues. Uh,
I mean, each goes hand in hand. So
yeah. Did so was 82 your first competitive Dota environment?
um, no, so I actually started off in a tournament called Mind Game tournament. It was run by a team called Mind Game. Um, and there's some nice people over there. Mainly got into it because like I wanted like a change of pace from like the ranked grind. And obviously like the pro scene, like I wanted to get like obviously this is amateur Dota and all that, but you want to get like a sense of like what it is to actually play on the team, instead of just playing with a bunch of randoms. So I got into the mind game tournament off of a Reddit post as well. I was like, might as well go in there. Made a team with Sharky, uh, plus a bunch of a few others. Did okay, one of the lower end teams, but definitely pulled upsets against some of the higher ranked teams there. And then after that, got introduced to 82L by Droids, actually. So
Nice.
yeah,
It's you know, we'll avoid saying that name at the moment, but I'm just kidding. He's a character. That's good. I'm happy he brought people. I know he brought a lot of people into 82L, and that's I think a lot of 82L players try to bring new people in. So
and
that's when what
definitely helped me find some of the other tournaments, whether that be RD2L or AD2L.
what was that season 25 that he brought you in, or when did he bring you in? What year or season?
So I joined the AD2L Discord season uh 24, I think. And then I joined a team of there's some fairly low ranked MMR like people. Ended up leaving that team because I didn't enjoy playing with the guys. It always ended up I was playing carry for them, and it always ended up me having to 1v5. So I was like, this isn't fun for me. So I left that team, and then yeah, made my own team for season 26. It was originally wanted it to be in contender. Had players on my team rank up into ancient, so I was forced to go into intermediate, and yeah,
And that was Team Umbra.
yeah,
Yeah. And now Team Umbra has divines and ancients, and you're managing them.
yeah.
Do you want to kind of get into that? Like, I kind of understand like the manager's role, not fully like the online manager, and I guess for more amateur teams, like I think manager for those high tier heroic teams, okay, they have a lot of response. What I guess what's your responsibility, or what do you do for them that helps them out?
So basically, first I got like all the players together, like they like notified me of like players they wanted to try out, got them into the Discord and all that stuff. From there, like I set up scrims, I get them into the tournaments, I try and get them to practice. I also make sure that they don't start like fighting each other for the most part. But they're all fairly chill dudes. I help I help them out with like thoughts on the game. Um, and just overall just trying to make their lives easier so that they only have to worry about playing Dota instead of trying to sign up for tournaments because they want to play in a semi-competitive environment.
Were any of them originally on Team Umbra?
Yeah, so Hexy was when we were first making the team. Hexy was our original mid laner. Prone was one of the first people on Team Umbra as well. And then everybody else from there was added on. Kyrie, let's see, Kyrie we added onto Team Umbra midway through season 26 for intermediate. Um, he ended up having to leave the team during season 26 because he ranked up too much. He had Divine 3 during that. And then the other two guys, Tech and Bjorn, are new additions. And hopefully they'll be able to play this season in Divine.
Do you hope there's a Divine League, or do you think there will be this coming
Uh,
82L season?
from the sound of it, it seems like there will be a Divine League. I know Melody. He's he or she. I don't know. I don't
T-
really know the
Team
person.
O's.
Yeah, the mid laner for Team O's. He or she's going to be on a Divine team next season. Um, and that's the main thing that I know. Sleepy says he knows of like three other teams that are planning to sign up for intermediate. Sorry, not intermediate, Divine. Um, so from the sound of it, it looks like there's going to be Divine League next season. Hopefully there is. But I mean, if there isn't, it's no hard feelings, of course. Obviously, the Divine pool is fairly small, so it's hard to find teams of Divine players, you know?
I honestly, if your team is 5 divines, or let's say 4 divines, agent 5, just do heroic. You might not win, but there would probably be other divine teams you could face.
Two Divines at the moment.
2 divines, okay.
Yeah.
Well, even so, there'd probably be teams like that. If the teams that signed up for Divine League signed up and said, okay, we'll do heroic. You
Yeah,
know,
we were the what happened last season was that we signed up for Divine League. No other team signed up for Divine League, and so
mhm,
asked me, "Do you guys want to do heroic?" So
mhm.
I asked my guys. The majority consensus was no, we don't want to go up against high immortal players because we'll just get stomped, so it's pointless for us to play against them. So that was the general consensus among the team.
I definitely think if what you've told me is true, I honestly think to just make a league, all you need is 4 teams. And yeah, you'll be facing the same team twice, but that kind of builds some rivalry, and then you just do a double elim playoff bracket, and I think that'd be fun to do.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. We'll see how many Divine teams sign up this season, though.
I just don't think you need 8 teams for a league. Like you're
No,
only
no,
going to
no,
end
no.
up facing 6 of them, and if you go in playoffs, you might face a team you've probably faced. So you
Yeah, I
face,
know.
that's me. I'm just kind of
Yeah,
just sharing. So I think minimum of 4 sign up. I think you can have a league, and I think
yeah.
it's
No,
healthy
the
enough.
plan was for Divine League to have 4 teams.
Hmm.
There was one other team that was supposed to sign up last season, but they never did. And yeah, it just ended up being us who had signed up for the Divine League,
Hmm.
and yeah, just ended up dropping out because of it.
Yeah, we'll have to kind of see if enough teams. People say they sign up and then they don't, so we'll have to wait and see. Keep up on your one. Well, Melody, I think fairly comfortable, but sleepy. Even 2 out of 3 teams sign up, and maybe a surprise team. Like I'm looking at this intermediate list. There's some teams that weren't even or players from this season that have already signed up for next.
Yeah, there's
So that's
a
good.
lot of players I see on that list.
Yeah.
Should be a fun intermediate season next month.
Yes, I 100% sure. 100% for me. I think it'll be really good. So I want to just kind of go back. Last season, you're on Team Umbra. Your team gets knocked out. You were also kind of playing for Silver Breakfast Pandas. Dylan left, and you joined that team.
Yeah, so I stood in for Silver Breakfast Pandas for one of their series in the offlane. Um, that was when Team Umbra had to move our matches to a different day. I think it was against. I want to say it was against Senegang, but I might be wrong there. Um, and yeah, over the rest of that season, until playoffs, she was looking for a offlaner at the time because again they lost to Dylan Ace, and they had picked up Tornado. So eventually, playoffs came around. My team got knocked out week one against Team Retro. Um, Choose team they had taken in this guy. They won their week one playoff matches, but they didn't feel comfortable with that guy, so they ended up kicking him after that week. And eventually is like, yo, you want to play? I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll play. And then, of course, rest is history. Go to the grand finals, and we end up losing 3-2 to Red 5 standing by. So
Yeah, losing the grand finals like that. Does that just make you want an 82 championship even more now?
I mean, it'd be nice, but like overall, like I'm not playing in 82L like to win a championship. I'm here to have fun. Like if I lose, I lose. So, but obviously, I want to win over all else because, like, I mean, who has fun losing? You know?
Mm, mm. Really drunk people are really high people, you know.
Yeah.
Wow, no, that's really good. So then season 27 comes up, Silver Breakfast Panda signs up for intermediate. You left halfway through the season. Uh,
I
what
left
happened?
at the end, so I'll start off with this. I think there was absolutely no reason we should have signed up for intermediate. I don't think any of the guys were ready for intermediate. Um, I guess I could say I was like the only one, considering I had played an intermediate last season, and the skill level between this season and last season. I'd say while it's a higher skill level, I would say it's not by much. But I think it came as a shock to the guys on the team how much more difficult it would have been. I also got kind of hurt by the fact that I had to sit out a few games. due to personal circumstances. But overall, like when we were playing pubs or whether it be scrims, there's overall sense like people would start tilting when we were losing, um, and it'd be for various reasons. And I'm not gonna single out one person. It would, to be honest, it would end. Always ended up being like usually the whole team ended up just tilting out. Um, and over the course of the time, like some guys just kind of stopped playing a lot of Dota. For the most part. And it got kind of hard. So when we got to the games, like trying to do drafting and all that with and the guy with people drafting who hadn't been playing Dota for a bit and didn't understand like, hey, this is how it needs, this is how the game needs to go for us. Um, Kind of boiled over into I think some tensions that had arisen from the scrims and pubs that we played together. And overall, it just came to the point like me being a person who tilts fairly easily. I will admit that I tilt fairly easily in games. Um, it became too much for me, and the game against Digital Habitat tensions just broke loose, and I'm like thought about it when I was going to bed whether or not it made sense to play the next week, and ultimately just came to the conclusion, no, it doesn't make sense for me to play the next week. Um, just gonna call it quits because this isn't good uh, for me at all. Because I need to surround myself with level-headed people. Um, so yeah, I ended up just quitting the team, and overall, Silver Rex fans ended up just disbanding um, from that. Overall, I hold no ill will to anybody on the team. They're outside of the game. They're all nice guys. Just yeah.
No, okay. Well, I was gonna ask about, I was gonna deep dive and ask other questions. I think you covered it all. Just quick up. That's kind of similar. I want teammates that are dedicated to the game. If I'm gonna be on a team and spend time, I think I want players that are gonna play. And I'm not saying they have to play 20 games a week, but I need players that are dedicated to playing Dota to play with them, because if I'm putting in my time, I feel like teammates should do that as well. So I understand leaving. As you know, I also left.
I
uh,
think in while some different circumstances,
yeah,
overall a similar boat, I would say,
yes,
to the
slightly
plan.
different, but yeah. Uh, so this season, you touched based quickly on this right away. You said you have a team. Is it a full? You said you're looking for one last player. What position?
Um, Currently, uh, we're looking for either a pause 3 or pause 4 player since our guy on that side is flexible between the two positions. Um, uh, uh, I mean, it's a work in progress. We already have like candidates set out, and hopefully we'll have all of that figured out either this week, next week, or even after I have my exams done. I don't know. It's work in progress because like there obviously there's people in this league that are in school and all that. They have exams coming up, myself included, um, and mainly just trying to like balance between the two. Obviously, um, Dota comes second to all of that. So
No, for sure. School is number one, 100%. It sets potentially can set you up for life. School generally education gets you a better job, so don't quit
yep.
school. If you're not if you're not top 100 immortal right now, guys, I hate to break it to you, you're not getting a pro Dota career. Probably, unless if you're little Nick. Well, Harb, I think this kind of wraps up the interview. I appreciate you coming on, being the first guest, possibly the last guest, depending on how this goes for Fireside Chats. We should give you credit as well for coming up with the name. Your mic, Harb?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. It seems
Okay.
like you start quiet. I didn't want to ever say it during the, and then it gets louder. But yeah.
I mean, I naturally start quietly when I talk, so I
Oh,
think my low voice doesn't really help with that
I turned you
all
up a
that much.
lot. No, it's all good. I thank you for coming on, especially on such short notice, and I hope there will be many more episodes. And if I ever hit, 100, probably not, we'll bring you back on.
Yeah, sure.
Many 82L seasons from now. So I appreciate anything else you want to say. Shout out last before we end this.
Um, Shout out to Seth for running a league like 82L. While we may give him a lot of flack for everything and all that, he puts up with all the kids in 82L. Um, so he deserves a lot of praise for what he's running.
Awesome. Well, round of applause to Harb. Thank you for coming on Fiery Side Chat. Thank you, Harb.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, you have a great night.
You too.
Okay, I just wanted to say something else here. I left the channel with Harb before I thank him and all that stuff. If you're interested in being on this interview, this podcast, it's going to be uploaded on YouTube. I'm going to try to do one every week or every other week and get other personalities. If you want to be on this, send me a DM. You know where I'm at in AT2L. Send me a DM and say, hey, I'd be interested for something. I'm looking for 5 minutes all the way up to 30. We can have a conversation about anything. It doesn't even have to be Dota related. Just come on, show your 82L personality. Anyways, this is Fireman with FirerySide. Chat episode 1. Let's go for 10 more. See you later.